1970 Volkswagen Convertible, restoration number 2. Clip 9, Misclleaneous cleanup and Fenders Removal, August 2011. I spent a little time today cleaning up the wires, labeling them a little bit that I need later on, but felt like it needed to be done now. A sample of the wires. J2 flasher relay. The light switch E1 served as a junction box for the electrical wiring of a Volkswagen. These details will be added to my updated version of guideline to keeping my 1970 Volkswagen alive, which is being updated as I discover new techniques. This is the back side of the J dimmer relay. This is E3, the emergency flasher. About 4 hours of effort on this section. Next, I bled the brake to get the air out of the line by starting at the right rear, right front, then left front wheel. I used DOT3 brake fluid since that is what was already in the system. I poured about 1 inch of fluid in the jar prior to starting so that I could keep the outlet end of the bleeder tube submerged. After cleaning the bleeder nipple, I connected a bleeder tube over the bleeder nipple as shown and used a 7mm wrench to loosen the bleed nipple nut slightly as I asked my grandson McNeil to depress the brake pedal smartly. I would then tighten the bleed nipple and ask McNeil to release the brake pedal slowly. This was done numerous times on each wheel until no more bubbles emerged from the tube into the jar, and then we moved to the next wheel. I filled up the brake reservoir after bleeding each wheel. This is my grandson McNeil pressing and releasing the brake pedal as I yelled out. About 5 hours of effort. Since the pedal cluster had been installed, I've been holding the clutch back with a bungee cord. So I installed the clutch and brake stop as shown and removed the bungee cord. I adjusted the clutch by tightening the wing nut on the clutch cable. With the clutch adjusted, I was able to back the car outside and wash the dust off with a water hose. About 1 hour of effort. Prior to removing the fenders, I need to remove the lights. I start with the left front parking light. Spray penetrating oil on the 2 bolts under the front left fender. Then use an 8mm wrench or socket to remove the nuts as shown. Go ahead and spray penetrating oil on all of the fender bolts for all fenders and all light brackets. Lift the front parking light up slowly. A view of the wire from beneath the left front parking light. Remove the rubber seal and label the wire to the parking light as shown and then push them through the fender opening. The gray wire with a black lead is number 58. The brown wire is ground. The black and white wire is BL. This wire will be black and green for the right side. This is the view of the left parking light from underneath with the wired label. Remove the bottom center screw on the left headlight outer bezel with a Phillips screwdriver. With a small wooden stick or flathead screwdriver, pry the left outer bezel off. If the paint job was new, I would use a wooden stick, but since I'm getting ready to paint the car, I was careful and used a screwdriver. Remove the 3 small screws on the inner bezel with a Phillips screwdriver. Be careful and do not drop the screws since they are very small and would be hard to find. Lift the inner bezel off. View of the light socket from overhead. Carefully remove the headlight from the electrical socket. View of the light socket from the front with wire number shown. View of the light socket from the rear with wire number shown. Carefully with a very small flathead screwdriver, insert in the small opening as shown and push the connector catch out, and at the same time with another small screwdriver from the rear pull the wire out of the socket. Then repeat for the other two wires. A view of the headlight socket removed. Label the headlight wire. White is 56A, yellow is 56B, brown is ground, and then push the wire through the opening. Use an 8mm socket or wrench from underneath the left rear fender and move the two bolts on the left rear tail light, and lift the tail light off slowly. This is the left rear tail light shown from the rear with the wire number from the back side. Label the wire. Blue is RF, brown is ground, red is 54, gray is 58, black is BL. Then push the wire through the fender opening. Remove the rubber grommet for the hole. Now repeat the same procedure for the right side lights. I found that the two rear taillights were not the same. I think the right taillight was replaced due to a fender bender as I turned into the office driveway many years ago. A lady was driving a pickup truck taking her kid to school and told the cop she was signing her kid's homework and did not see me slowing down. I would try to find a correct replacement. Clean up the light parts and throw each side in a separate bag. About 5 hours of effort. Next, I will remove the front and rear bumpers and brackets. Use a 13mm socket with extension. Remove the 3 bolts on each side of the front bumper. Then lift off the front bumper. Use a 13mm socket. Remove the 3 bolts on the left bumper bracket as shown. This will also remove the horn bracket. The horn is attached with 2 of the 3 bolts on the left bumper bracket. Pull out the left front bumper bracket. Pull out the bracket rubber. Then repeat the process to remove the right bumper bracket and rubber. Repeat the same process to remove the rear bumper. Clean up all bolts and throw them in individual plastic bags marked front bumper bolt, front bumper bracket bolt, rear bumper bolt, rear bumper bracket bolt. I should mention this tip. My wife made me this newspaper bag holder, and for a while now we have been throwing the newspaper bag in this container. When I need a bag, I just pull it out from the bottom and it's free. Tie each individual bag into a knot and throw them. A view of the front of the VW without the lights or a bumper. Likewise, a view of the rear. Approximately 3 hours of effort. Working double time again today. The 2 boys are taking off the fenders. McNeil on one side, no Andrew on the other side. We'll get them off in a little bit. McNeil got his front right fender off. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Alright, now Andrew got his front left fender off. Woo! Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good if you just like painted down orange and you went without the fenders. Yeah.
McNeil, they got the right back fender removed now.
Yep. I gotta tear it off or just leave it there.
Just put it up there in the front.
Thank you.
Got them both removed on each side, me and Andrew.
Thank you. And Andrew got the left rear fender removed now. Thank you, son.
No, stop it.
He got it. The good news at the rear fender well, where you say have a lot of rust, I don't see any. That's great.
Wash the grit and grime off the back of the fenders with a water hose. Put tape over the light wires terminal. Put a plastic bag over the light wires. Back the car outside and wash off the window well with a water hose. 3 kids' hours of work. A total of 126 hours to date. Stay tuned for progress reports.